Result of injuries, Anthony Davis most notably missing 39 of LA's 78 games. Their loss to Denver Sunday, coupled with the San Antonio Spurs win over the Portland Trail Blazers, increased the Spurs' lead for the number 10 seed and final playing spot in the West, 2 games with 4 games remaining. But since the Spurs own the tiebreaker by winning their season series against the Lakers, LA would actually have to gain 3 games on the Spurs by season's end to catch San Antonio. Coach Frank Vogel, what's on your mind?
Sucks telling these guys every game, proud of you, good effort. We lost. So it's not fun, but it could be worse, you know, if things were unraveling. Our group has stayed together. They're putting in a good fight. Their attitude has been wonderful in terms of just like working together to get this thing right. And it's just disappointing to come in and, you know, just keep saying we fell short.
All right, Magic. We know about the injuries. Tell me this. What went wrong for the Lakers?
That can't be the excuse, though, Molly.
Yeah.
Because AD was out last year, and we made the play-in game, and we made the playoffs. So, first of all, he's got to get healthy and stay on the court, okay? That's number one. Accountability is big here, and the Lakers all season have not taken accountability. Whether that's individual play, whether that's on the defensive end, whether that's playing together, Stephen A. So my problem is with them saying, making all these excuses. So we're making excuses again. Quit making excuses. This thing did not work out. The parts did not fit. And last but not least, it's not all on Frank Vogel. We know he's going to get fired. We know that. If the players don't say, I got to get better next season, because Stephen A., they coming back with the same team, not the same 9 role players, right, but the core 3 is probably going to have to come back because you can't attach a first-round pick trying to trade Westbrook. You just can't do that because now we don't have any more first-round picks. So they're going to have to say, you know what, we got to work this thing out. And Russell's got to look up and say, the last 3 weeks I've been playing pretty good. You got to play like that going into next season.
Magic, I'm glad you're here, my brother. It's always good to see you. Let me say this, man. When I hold Frank Vogel accountable, I'm not blaming him.
That's right.
For the Lakers' demise. Please don't get me wrong. LeBron James got his fingerprints written all over this, regardless of the numbers he's been putting up as an individual player. We got to remember what LeBron James' greatest gift has always been prior to this year. It's maximizing the potential of the pieces around him to facilitate winning. He hasn't done that. We can speculate as to why that is, but nevertheless, that's on him because he was the guy that went to them and said, I want Russell Westbrook. Not DeMar DeRozan, not Buddy Hield, Russell Westbrook. LeBron James' fingerprints are written all over this. There's no doubt. Anthony Davis, you talked about he's got to stay on the court. Well, let's be specific about that. You have players who play in the offseason, but do they really take care of themselves to better position themselves for what's coming down the pike? See, LeBron does that.
Right.
Other players don't. Some people look at Anthony Davis, and even though you'll look at him and sometimes you say he's in shape, sometimes you'll say he isn't. What's undeniable is that from a strength and conditioning standpoint, you're not doing something right in the offseason to get yourself ready for the upcoming season. That's a problem. Number 3, we look at Russell Westbrook. He doesn't fit, but Russell Westbrook's got to look at himself because a vast majority of this season, again, when I made the statement, that's the first time I looked at Russell Westbrook and say he didn't deserve to be a Laker. I want you to hear what I was saying. Magic, I wasn't talking about his play on the court.
Right.
I was talking about the dude that went up in the press conference and said, I have no expectation.
Yep.
You can't be a Laker and ever utter the words out of your mouth. You have no expectations. I'm talking to an all-time greatest Laker. This man, Kobe Bryant, debate it all you want to. We know who this man is, 5-time champion, wearing the purple and gold. I don't even want to get into how you was feeling when you heard Russell Westbrook say, I have no expectation as a Laker.
I called you,
That's
so
right.
you know.
Exactly. It's like, what? What do you mean you have no expectation?
Exactly.
You can't say that. But my last point is Vogel. And here's where I would challenge you on this. this, and I would challenge Vogel respectfully. Frank Vogel is a champion. Frank Vogel has had 6 winning seasons. Frank Vogel was known as a defensive mind when he was coaching in Indiana and when they were challenging Miami for supremacy in the Eastern Conference. Frank Vogel is to be respected. I think this man deserves to be a head coach in the National Basketball Association. I'm talking about this situation that's likely going to return its core.
Right.
It is clear they tuned him out.
Right.
It is clear they have not gone all out for him. And when you have that going on as your backdrop, I'm saying we got Magic Johnson courtside at NBA Countdown calling it. We got James Worthy doing post-game, not knowing what to do with himself, trying to find the words, okay? Yeah. We got Hall of Famers all over the place that are looking at this dysfunctional disaster known as the Los Angeles Lakers, and they are saying, what the hell is going on? If I can't look at the head coach and you can't find a way to stop the bleeding, what am I supposed to do with you? You're 16 games under 500, Magic. I would have replaced Frank Vogel before the trading deadline expired just to salvage, try to see what I could peel out of them this season.
Well,
that's it.
Well, I think if Jason Kidd was sitting there, that probably would have happened.
Okay.
Right? But who's going to replace him if they do that, right? Replace him mid-season. And I would say this. Somebody's got to take the blame for this mess. It's a mess. So somebody's got to take the blame. So you know Vogel's going to take some of this blame.
No question.
Right? They're going to point the finger at him. And this is what's really bothers me, Molly and Stephen A. This season was never about winning in terms of I've never seen the Laker team lose all these close games in the fourth quarter. We couldn't win. And so we got Russell, who's going to go into the Hall of Fame. LeBron going to be in the Hall of Fame. AD's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Carmelo Anthony's going to be in the Hall of Fame. And you mean to tell me we can't win close game? Friday night against the Pelicans was a big game for the Lakers.
That's right.
How we lose that game at home, and we're up 20-something, first of all. Then we're up 7 in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game, and we couldn't close it out.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
And I'm going to tell you something that I haven't said. This is important.
I have one question for
I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to say this because I've said this on many occasions, and I do it with a smile on my face because everybody knows how I love to live my life. I love my social life. Okay, so it matters. If you in South Beach, that matters.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. You know, a city, Toronto, when the weather's warm, that matters. Yeah. Okay, yeah. L.A., it matters. And what I'm saying is this: I believe that when the Lakers won the championship, a whole bunch of cats got comfortable. Yeah. It's L.A.
Okay.
We it. And let me tell you something. You know this because you lived in L.A. Of course, you know this, and I've learned this during my time in L.A., okay?
Who lets this man at the house?
It's just a different flavor, a different feel. The sun shines a little different. The weather seems a little bit better. The atmosphere, the vibe in L.A. is different when the Lakers are winning and they're relevant. And those cats there got comfortable, and it's proved to me everybody ain't made for L.A.
No.
Real quick.
Everybody ain't made for L.A.
No, great point, Stephen A. Before we transition to Kareem, though, I want to ask you this, Magic. How does any of this fall on LeBron? Because, Stephen A., I know initially you said part of it falls on LeBron, but he is taking care of his body. He is having an incredible season. Is it LeBron the GM or LeBron on the court?
Yeah, so Aaron Goodwin, DeMar DeRozan's agent, called me, said, hey, he wants to come home. So I called Rob, said, hey, DeRozan wants to come play for the Lakers.
Yeah.
So I got out the way. So I'm thinking, okay, everything gonna work out. Right. They're negotiating.
Yeah.
Then the next thing, I went on vacation. Next thing I hear, we're not gonna sign DeMar DeRozan, but we're gonna sign trade for Westbrook. They had the Buddy Hield trade already done, and bagged up out of that.
Okay.
So if you had Buddy Hield, DeRozan, now we could keep Caruso.
That's right.
We could keep KCP, the guys who defend. See, they're our best on-ball defenders.
And both can shoot.
Yes. And both were happy with their role.
That's right.
We'd be playing Phoenix for the Western Conference Finals.
Oh, gotcha. I'm glad I asked. Now I understand. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right, gentlemen, let's get to another Laker legend. That would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's recent comments on LeBron James. Kareem was asked about how LeBron's conducted himself, and he was critical of some of what he said and done. Take a listen. We'll get your reaction.
Some of the things that he's done and said are really beneath him, as far as I can see, with some of the great things that he's done. You know,